Hello, everybody. This is Devo with Devo's Film Reviews here, and this week's review will be Blade 2, directed by horror maestro Guillermo del Toro, featuring Wesley Snipes as Blade, Chris Christopherson as Whistler, Leonor Varela as Nessa, with Norman Reedus as Scud, Donnie Yen as Snowman, and Ron Perlman as Reinhardt, which Nessa, Snowman, and Scud were pretty much part of the Vampire Society, which in this day is where Blade, shortly after being reunited with Whistler, and is cured from being turned and such in the first movie, and then of course these new types of demons show up and called Reapers, which almost look like the vampires from The Strain, the FX series, and I say talking about how an unlikely alliance Blade and the Vampire Order was, because it was almost like just like the Hand, which is Marvel's Legends of League of Shadows, which was Ra's al Ghul's group in the DC one. Well, that's unrelated, but of course Marvel has equivalent is the Hand, and this is the Vampire Order is pretty much just like them, but as vampires. And I gotta admit, kind of like excellent acting and casting with Norman Reedus as Scud and Ron Perlman. You could almost say this movie the moment where Blade, Daryl Dixon, and Hellboy teamed up, which of course Hellboy was directed by Del Toro, so that's as far as I'm going to say, because gotta save that for that review in the near future. And of course, with Blade movies, always delivers on the hard R-rated action. I mean, seriously, MCU, if you're gonna do a PG-13, at least do it right. Do it properly, like just have the vampires just turn to dust like the Buffy ones do. And and I'll just say, while I'm fan casting, I'll consider if we were consider Don Swayze as Whistler for that go around, or bring back Wesley in a smaller form but this time as Whistler. Well, that's enough about that. No, back to the movie. I would say Blade 2, excellent acting chemistry and surprisingly into the lead scenes. Kind of surprisingly, the scene that shouldn't be the lead was a good flashback scene on the Blu-ray. I had it to where Whistler and Blade meet, where Blade was a teenager, of course, and that was kind of a dick move to cut that one off, cut that scene out. And but definite amount of action. That's where we're like again. We're just going after conventional vampires. Starts off riding around in his charger, then he goes into a fight, and then there's motorcycle scenes, fighting song. All, whew. Of course, you can't have Blade without the badassery on that one. And of course, with this being the best one out of the trilogy. I mean, just excellent twists and turns, even where he was quoting The Godfather most times with a friends close and enemies closer line, and Of course, spoiler alert, Scud's the traitor. Or it's the spy for the Vampire Order or the Vampire Alliance, which they always kept confusing. And one movie where the hench villains were actually more interested in the actual villain, to where it was Nyssa who was the only person that in the Vampire Order that was completely on Blade's side, while the others, Ron Perlman and his bunch, just were going back and forth. And man, how they played the good villains on that one. Especially when it was a demon that couldn't be killed with either garlic or silver. So they, of course, had the UV bombs, and an old scene where the Blade and Reinhardt where he just puts the one in the back of his head, and then whoo. And man, that was an epic scene. And among like the nightclubs, which of course with the Blade trilogy, you always gotta have the nightclubs that play all those god awful trance music songs. Like, dude, vampires have shitty taste in music. Yeah, for characters for people that's 100 plus year old and such. And man, talking about how, and especially the epic scene in the sewers with the Blade and the crew and the Reapers. Man, just going from gun to sword, gun to gun, some blade, and mostly gunplay for this for a guy who's named Blade, but hey, Wesley Snipes was perfect for a role. No question of that. And man, and this one is definitely among the sequels that's better than the actual movie, better than the first. Though, like I mentioned, the side villains were more interested in the main villain. I'm kind of even brain farting on that guy's name right now. Who was Nessa's father, I'll just refer to as. And it's kind of a flaw that she had to die, because they did have good chemistry and something that, although wouldn't have fitted. I'm not sure how that would have fitted for Trinity, but I'll save enough for that. But overall, Blade 2, a definite 5 out of 5 masterpiece. I mean, action packed, got the scary and all the horror points about it, and action, epic acting. I mean, what more could I say? Definitely a definite must watch for Marvel fans and horror fans alike. Alright, y'all, I'm signing off.